Welcome to Learn and Love Music. I'm Duane. Today I'm excited to present a different side of what I do as a musician, and that is to be a student. I studied with a woman named Jeaneane Dowis in Aspen Music Festival a long time ago. She prepared me for my Juilliard audition, and this piece that I'm going to play today, Chopin F-sharp major Impromptu, was one of the first pieces that I studied with her. So let's get started with 5 tips on how Jeaneane Dowis taught me this wonderful piece. Also, I wanted to show you my score that I kept from 1973. There's no cover left. The pages are torn, but it is a score that is very dear to me. We all keep our music, even though sometimes we buy new copies, but this is a great memento of Jeaneane Dowis. Tip number 1. Always play legato, and when you play legato with your fingers, not with the pedal. Everything has to be wonderfully connected. And in order to do that, we have to do something called finger substitution. What that means is that you pass the notes on from one finger to the next in order to make things really super legato. Jeaneane loved to do this kind of technique, and I want you to watch as I play this passage where I connect the melody on the top. In fact, finger substitution. Here's this passage. Take a look at the top of my right hand as I play. You notice that as I played, everything was connected, just like glue to the keys. This was something that Jeaneane taught all of her students, and it made for a beautiful lyrical line. It's so difficult as pianists to play lyrically because we play a percussion instrument, but playing with this technique makes it a little bit closer to being just like a voice or a violin or any other instrument that can play legato. Tip number 2, how to use the pedal. Usually when pianists play, they like to change the pedal on each note. More specifically, Jeaneane Dowis always wanted students to use syncopated pedal. What that means is that your foot has to lag a little bit behind the hands in order to make it clean. So when I'm playing a melody like this, it sounds smooth because when I play, I'm doing play, change, play, change, play, change. So I do play, change, play, change, play, change. If I played with the notes, that would be bumpy. But with that beautiful syncopated pedal, it works beautifully. Now let's listen to it with both hands and the pedal. Here's the second point about pedaling technique. You're allowed to pick up your hands, but don't pick up your hands and feet at the same time, your pedal, because it'll break the line. So what I do is you'll notice that I pick up my hands, but I don't pick up my foot. A lot of times what students will do is because they see a rest there, they'll do something like that. That doesn't work too well. That's why we have the pedal, to smooth things out and make things beautiful and legato. And thanks to Jeaneane Dowis, I've learned how to do that. And tip number 3, always look for an inside melody. It's very easy to find the top melody in a section like this when you hear beautiful melody. And every teacher says, sing the top. But what Jeaneane always did is she said, try to find something on the inside that can almost sound like a duet. Listen to the way she had me practice this piece. Listen for the inside melody. What I love about this passage is that the inside melody is not on the beat. It's all off the beat in triplets. And smoothly, there's almost like even a duet melody with the bass as well. The color of music is not just in the melody, it's in all of the voices. Tip number 4, make sure you always phrase across the bar line. Listen to the phrasing when I play the left hand here. I always used to say this, we go to there, we go to there, we go to... Jeaneane used to call that the bar line disease when students would do first beat, always carry that line through in a very legato touch. And tip number 5, when you play octaves, make sure you keep your middle fingers up in the air so you have a good support in your hand. In this piece, there's a wonderful forte passage, and it goes like this. If you don't keep those fingers up, you miss notes in the middle. But also there's a special benefit to this, and that is that your hand has a much more solid foundation when the fingers are up in the air. So always keep those fingers open and wide. So those were 5 tips on how to play this wonderful piece by Chopin. Tips that Jeaneane Dowis gave me. Jeaneane Dowis was really an amazing teacher. I've brought all of the ideas that she taught me to all of my students as well. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode on Learn, Love Music, talking about Chopin and also about how important it is to have a good teacher. We'll see you next time on Learn and Love Music.